Hi everyone, and welcome to another Mindblower construction update. My name is Jim. We're taking a look at Fun Spot Kissimmee's newest roller coaster. You can hear some sawing going on right now. The turns actually down at this end, the 90-degree bank turn is pretty much up today. Other than obviously not all the track woodwork or anything, but we do have the full turn going in place, and last week where we saw this area was open, we can see the track making the turn to connect to all those other pieces. We're going to get a better look at that from a few different areas and a few different angles coming up in just a couple minutes in this video as we update you on Mindblower, the new wooden coaster at Fun Spot Kissimmee. One additional detail I want to point out at this angle is up here we talked about how the lift hill chain would be going in. This is the top of the lift. If you look right here, you can see two beams there. That would likely be for part of the chain compartment or to support the chain at the very least. It needs more steel work obviously because they have to support the chain. We have been showing you the chain, the lift hill motor for the chain, so that would obviously flow through there as well. We'll take a look from a different angle and see if we can see any more signs of where the chain would be getting put in. Additionally, right here real quick, we also see the supports are about halfway up to complete the turn at the top there. The top of the lift is right there on the left as I was showing you, and then that first drop is over here. So we're still waiting for a few sections of track to go up right there to complete the lift. Through the trees here we can also see the double down coming through. No steel track work anywhere to be seen just yet, but we are very early on in the video. We'll see if we can see anything else coming up. So here from this angle now, we can see the 90-degree bank turn a little better. We'll try to get a view from it looking from the other direction down by here by the station. But I wanted to give you guys an angle right here where you can see all those vertical boards up, and that is a 90-degree bank turn. So imagine laying on your side but sitting in a coaster car doing that. Now on something I didn't mention on the other side, we have the low to the ground, a lower turn right here, and that looks to be the one that swoops up and heads for the station. So now obviously that 90-degree turn is going to go from right to left here, so from this way over this way, the way they're building it, right, the direction they're building it in. But the return to station turn that they are also working on right now will go from this way up and over and towards the station, towards that railing you see right there in the center of the frame. So as we walk on down, we're going to get a look, a little better look at this area here, and just check out everything they've been working on here at Mindblower. So here right up close is that 90-degree turn. Hopefully we'll get a nice look from the other direction here in just a second. But you can see a lot of the base woodwork has been going in. A lot of the efforts forming out now into some good track work. And we'll see if we can get a good shot here in just a second. So here obviously that lower turn comes up. That lower turn comes up right here, goes over and heads for the station. We'll be taking a look at the station in just a moment. So really quick right here, this is the 90-degree turn one more time. I know I've kind of been dwelling on it here at the beginning of the video. We'll move on to some other features in just a second. But I wanted to show you guys right here, this is looking towards the direction it will go. So it will come out of the double down, go through this cross element that we see right through here, sort of through the whiteboards here. And then as it goes up, you will actually be on your side in a coaster car right here, 90-degree bank turn. It's one of Gravity Group's signature things. Signature elements on their coasters. I'm glad they were able to incorporate it, among other things, in this coaster here at Fun Spot Kissimmee. So coming up, we're going to head for the station area. Check out the flyover right here. We can see the valley of the first drop. Again, hasn't been making a whole lot of progress still, doesn't look like. They seem to be working on the lift and those turns that I just showed you today. Maybe they're working on some stuff further down here. So we'll be checking that out in just a moment. So for those of you who watched last week's video, we showed you some brakes and other parts sitting out in the parking lot ready for installation. We got up close look at the magnetic brakes and the trim brakes. Well, if you look really closely under this woodwork here, you can see some wires hanging down. try to find you guys a good angle. Hopefully that's coming through pretty good in the video. Right down this brake run area, the brakes have actually been installed. They're not wired to anything yet, obviously not programmed to anything yet, but we do see the magnetic brakes down here, and then we see the trim brakes coming in right here, and there's one on this little downhill as you come into the station. So just look at that little, the little black pieces and the steel cross sections there. Those are the brakes. As we take a look at the station now, we can see the safety gates have been getting more work. They're pretty much installed, and then the pneumatics underneath look to be pretty much there and installed, done as well. They look to be all attached. We're also seeing this little shed here. Obviously, could be an electrical shed, a power supply area, kind of keep wires protected from the weather. So that's that there. We were told in a Fun Spot video recently that this would become an elevator of sorts, probably an outdoor style elevator, nothing big or fancy, just like a chair, wheelchair lift. So this will be our wheelchair elevator, which means I would expect this end over here that's open on this other side that we just walked from, that would probably be our, or will probably be our entrance area, as these are the loading gates on the platform. So as we take a look at the exit of the station, one other thing we learned about from the Fun Spot video is that there is going to be a flip track right in this area, and that flip track will basically just flip upside down and allow for a transfer of the train off the track. The supports over here for the inversion that comes over the station seem to not be making that much progress right now. They don't seem to be putting up anything in the turns. We'll take a look from the other side coming up in just a moment. However, we do want to focus on the lift hill. Right now, we're going to look at the lift hill. This is the top of the lift hill where we're talking about the support for the chain or possible motor or sprocket up there system for the top of the lift hill. So we'll get a better look at the lift from the other side, hopefully, coming up in just a moment. So I wanted to get one better angle of this for you guys before we go. This black piece here that we had been puzzling over a few weeks ago is actually the flip track. We're not sure which direction it's going to go for that transfer area to remove a train. But what we do see here is we see some like cross beams over top of some track. If you look real close here, we've seen those for a few weeks. There's a few people speculating this could be for a tunnel. I'm not 100% sure of that yet. It would be a really cool themed effect. However, again, not yet quite confirmed by us, at the very least. So again, these are the supports coming out of the inversion right here, and they will curve down and head for that double down element, which is where we will head for next to the other side to take a look at the lift and everything else really quickly. And then we will be on to the supply line. So as we take a look from this angle, we see something pretty exciting actually, at least in the progress of a coaster. We don't see a lift hill chain yet. However, this metal strip running all the way up the lift hill here is the trough, if you will, to put the lift hill chain in. So the lift hill chain will be coming in next. It could actually be in these boxes right here in this parking lot, everyone. This is pretty exciting right here. This could be the chain right here being stored in these boxes. But as I mentioned, we do have the trough for the lift hill chain itself going on right here. Now over here we see a lot more workers hammering away, banging away. They're working on some more supports right here, so likely we'll be getting some turns over here. So these angles will soon be gone, sadly. Won't be able to see a whole lot with more turns going up into place in this area. As we walk past this pole and pile of bricks, we come to the other side where we can see the turns coming out of these two elements right here. Obviously that far edge one is the double down, and that comes out of the inversion. We don't see any more work on the inversion yet, but we'll wait and see when we get that. Again, we have 3 workers here working on the flip track for transfer just near the station. I'm gonna guess that that transfer goes sort of towards the right into that open area we were looking at from the other side. However, it could go into the open area right here between the lift and this element right here, which is just looks spectacular. Just the curve of the track just looks awesome. So one more look at this wide angle here. We see all of the workers hammering away. We don't see any like track work going in yet. We do, however, see when you look next to the chain trough on the baseboard work, we see one metal plate right there, sorry about that, right there, we see a metal plate. That could be the base work for the track. That could be like the supporting base work, base metal work. We'll be keeping an eye on that and watching that as time moves along. So again, these cross beams here are going to be the potential tunnel. It does look like it would dive into a tunnel right here and go across, maybe even into a nice banking element. Looks like it could go up into this banking right here, which is almost another 90-degree turn, or could be a 90-degree turn. As we see, this post here is pretty much vertical. So that will be fun to watch to see if this is actually a tunnel way right here for a 90-degree turn. It would be cool to have a tunnel in the coaster just because it is mine blower, so that tunnel would give that mine car style feel. So coming up next, we're going to walk on down as far as we can, see if we can see anything else, and then we'll be headed across the street to the supply lot. Stay tuned. So as we take one final look at the Gravity Group coaster going up here in Fun Spot Kissimmee, called Mine Blower. Again, we see workers all over the track working hard, mostly on baseboard work today, but out here in the parking lot we do have some workers working on supports, stacking up multiple supports. And just putting all together all these supports. These are likely going to go on top, so we could be looking at that little empty section where the lift leaves off and the drop area, the turn into the drop, picks up. We could be looking at that being completed within just a few days, probably either over the weekend if they're working on the weekend, or early next week, I would say. Maybe even as early as tomorrow. Maybe we'll see a crane here and that'll be their project all day tomorrow. We'll try to make a stop by, so be sure to stay tuned to our Twitter page for any update like that. So again, one more time here at the coaster. This is actually kind of a sentimental spot for the coaster right here. It looks like nothing, but this is actually the first support where the coaster first went vertical that we first brought you. I was going to say, being at least a couple months ago now. We're on update, I believe this is 17 as I'm recording this video live from Fun Spot. So look for a caption to change that if not true. As we look down through here, we can see some baseboard work on this low to the ground track piece. And next up, we're going to be headed over to the supply lot to see what's left over there. Stay tuned, everyone. So as we start to wrap up, we take a look at these track pieces. Again, still untouched, another week of not being moved or touched, so much so that we now see the grass growing high around them. We're going to take a look at another angle from the original area of the supply lot where we saw a lot of wood. Something pretty remarkable to see going on right there, over there right now. So we'll be checking that out coming up in just a moment. So as we wrap up here, for those of you who have been with us since our first construction update, and if you haven't, all of our construction videos and updates on Mine Blower are posted to our YouTube page, so just be sure to head on over to there. We have them all put in a playlist for you, so you can watch them in order. You can watch literally the coaster grow via our updates, our weekly updates. We're the only site to bring you a weekly update on Mine Blower. Some sites did take a week or two off, so once things really got going over here, we were here every week and have been. But anyway, something really remarkable for those of you who have been with us or watched all the videos. You may remember this supply lot being full of wood, and these wood pallets of wood were stacked literally to the tops of these trees right here. Not to the top, but like to the lower hanging limbs. And you can now see a lot of that wood is gone, which is good. We've been seeing a lot of the progress obviously over there. A lot of woodwork going on now, obviously. So with all that woodwork, obviously this wood has moved to the site. Pretty common sense thing to say, I know, but it's just very impressive for someone who's followed the project, or if you've been with us through the beginning of the project, you've watched wood that was basically, imagine this stack here where you see these four stacks, these pallets stacked four high. Imagine that all the way down this stretch, and you can kind of see some scraps sitting out there, and you can see some more wood off in the distance here, but there was a lot more wood. And obviously just looking at our video of Mine Blower across the street here, with all the woodwork taking place on almost all the track work and all the supports almost up other than a few key spots, you can see why the wood has disappeared. So that's going to wrap things up here at Fun Spot Kissimmee, our update on Mindblower. My name is Jim from WildGravityTravels.com. Stay more informed with us on Mindblower and beyond by following all of our social accounts, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a great week ahead, everybody, and we will see you at the parks.